Injuries and matchups will prevent some of our Week 15 busts from good fantasy days. Marcus Mariota knee and Greg Olsen foot don't look right yet with their injuries. Kyle Rudolph has a tough matchup against Cincinnati, and Robbie Anderson gets a whammy with Josh McCown's injury and being covered by Marshawn Lattimore. For some teams, we aren't sure which running back will start, but we do know that neither will do well, like the Giants' committee of Orleans Darkwa and Wayne Gallman, Detroit's Ameer Abdullah and Theo Riddick, and the Bengals' Joe Mixon concussion or Giovanni Bernard. That's a lot of guys with red flags for your start-sit-em decisions. Last week, we correctly predicted the Ravens' defensive demise, Greg Olsen's goose egg, and other disappointing performances, like Jeremy Maclin, Ted Ginn, Jacoby Brissett, Kirk Cousins, Latavius Murray and more. There's a lot on the line this week in fantasy football, and nobody wants to start a player who could put up a dud performance. Check out the rest of our Week 15 bust picks. Go here for our Week 15 sleeper picks. Week 15 rankings: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, DST, kicker. Week 15 fantasy football busts: running backs, Orleans Darkwa, Wayne Gallman, Giants vs. Eagles, Tony Fortier Benson. It's a bad idea to start either one in this matchup. A bad offense and a split committee against the best rush defense in the NFL isn't a recipe for success. Joe Mixon, Giovanni Bernard, Bengals at Vikings. Vinny Iyer. A repeat of Minnesota's shocking meltdown against the run in Carolina ain't happening at home. Ameer Abdullah, Theo Riddick, Lions vs. Bears. Matt Lutovsky. Well, stick with the dual-back theme here and go with both Detroit guys. Abdullah is expected to play this week, but it's even more unclear than usual how touches will be divvied up. However, if Abdullah is back, it's less likely that Riddick will see carries, especially inside the 10 like he's been getting the past couple weeks. Full Week 15 RB rankings: Week 15 DFS Yahoo GPP lineup, Ycash DK Cash Values DFS lineup builder. Week 15 fantasy football busts: quarterbacks, Marcus Mariota, Titans at 49ers, Fortier Benson. Mariota has a bum knee, has had 2 bum performances against the 2 worst secondaries recently, and has been a bum all season long fantasy-wise at least. Despite the good matchup, he'll continue to struggle. Alex Smith, Chiefs vs. Chargers. He had only 155 yards passing and 2 TDs in the first meeting and is bound to struggle more at home with LA's pass D balling. Jameis Winston, Bucks vs. Falcons. Lutovsky. Atlanta's number 6 pass defense is a concern, but Winston's inability to protect the ball is an even bigger worry. He could easily negate a touchdown with turnovers, limiting his ceiling. Full Week 15 QB rankings: Week 15 fantasy football busts: wide receivers, Robbie Anderson, Jets at Saints, Fortier Benson. Bryce Petty is starting for the Jets, and Anderson goes up against Marshawn Lattimore. Not the best of circumstances. Sterling Shepard, Giants vs. Eagles. In theory, the slot matchup is good, but that was the case against Oakland and Dallas, making it hard to trust a hamstrung wideout on a tanking team. Corey Coleman, Browns vs. Ravens. Lutovsky. Coleman showed up last week and the Ravens were shredded for over 500 passing yards. Sounds good, right? We're not buying Coleman's ability to be consistent in this offense, not with Josh Gordon back anyway. This feels like a trap. Full Week 15 WR rankings: Week 15 fantasy football busts: tight ends, Eric Ebron, Lions vs. Bears. Fortier Benson. He's coming off a 10-catch, 94-yard day, but he runs into a Bears defense that has allowed only 3 Ts this season to score 5 fantasy points or more. Greg Olsen, Panthers vs. Packers. The foot isn't totally right and he's out of the offensive flow. Green Bay also covers the position rather well. Kyle Rudolph, Vikings vs. Bengals. Lutovsky. Rudolph has been a TD machine lately, but he runs into a Bengals defense that's only allowed 3 T touchdowns all year. Full Week 15 T rankings: Week 15 fantasy football busts: defenses, Carolina Panthers vs. Packers. Fortier Benson. They did extremely well last week against the Vikings, but with Aaron Rodgers returning, it'll be hard for them to post similar fantasy numbers. Los Angeles Rams at Seahawks. The Jags did some damage vs. Russell Wilson, but the day wasn't too pleasing overall. The Rams aren't as good as the Jags. Full Week 15 DST rankings: New England Patriots at Steelers. Lutovsky. We know they own Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. We're not feeling that this year, not on a short week after getting picked apart by the Dolphins.